friends, welcome to Hello Arts channel. I am Uma. In this video, we are going to see this beautiful yet simple V-stitch doily. All I have done is V-stitch, V-stitch, V-stitch except for the last row. Okay, so let us see how to do that. I have used number 10 thread for this doily and I have used 2.5 mm hook. Okay, I've tried to do a video with this yarn but I couldn't because it was so thin and you wouldn't be able to look into the stitches correctly, so I plan to do it with a little more bigger yarn so that it will be easy for you to follow. Okay, so this one is very simple. You can use this as a doily or a pot holder or just a decorative centerpiece according to the colors you choose. Okay, it's just very simple. The only thing you need to do is concentrate on your doing. You don't have to refer any pattern or count any stitches or nothing. You have to only concentrate on which round you are in. Okay, that's the only thing you need to concentrate for this. Okay, so let's get started. For this one I am going to use a 3-ply yarn. This is a 3-ply yarn and I'm using 4 mm hook. This one is a thread with 2.5 mm hook. Okay, so let's start doing this. Since this is not a hat, we don't need to do a magic circle. We can just start with a simple chain ring. Okay, so do a slip stitch, slip knot. Let me zoom in for you. Okay, do a chain, 1 2 3 4 chains. Okay, and do a slip stitch into the first chain. Always keep this tail end on the top so that it will be automatically weaved in when you work on the first round. Okay, do a slip stitch. Now do 3 chain. This will be our first double crochet here and throughout, and do 15 more double crochet in the ring. So totally including the chain 3 we will be having 16 double crochets. Okay, if you are a beginner, this is the best doily you can do. If you know only the basic stitches, half double crochet, double crochet and chain. The only thing we are using here are just a double crochet and the chain stitch. Okay, so yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through first 2 and pull through the next 2 is the double crochet. If you feel like the ring is too small for 16 double crochets, you can have 5 or 6 chains also to form a ring. Alright, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16. Count with the chain 3. Okay, then do a slip stitch in the top chain of chain 3 with both the strands. Okay, so this completes our first round. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16. Right, so for any doily, particularly for this doily, the more gaps you have the better. Okay, so that the pattern will be visible, pattern will be seen in the gaps. Okay, so if you are feeling like your stitches are too tight, you can always increase your hook size and you can increase the gauge also. Okay, so for the second round what I am going to do is chain 3, yarn over, insert into the same stitch one more time, which is our chain 3 of the previous round. Then do one more double crochet. So the same thing throughout, 2 double crochets in each stitches. So at the end of this round we will be having 32 double crochets. Okay, so continue this round. I will meet you at the end, and we'll start the third round. All right. See, I've completed the second round of 32 double crochets, and I'm doing slip stitch into the first stitch, which is technically the top chain of chain 3. I'm always using the 2 strands of chain to do the slip stitch, right? Okay, now here is where we will start the V stitches. All right, from here on we will do V stitch, chain 1, V stitch, chain 1 everywhere in each round. Okay, so the only thing you have to concentrate in this doily is which round are you in. I am telling you at this stage because if you pause the video, or if you rewind, or if you fast forward the video, you will be able to, I mean, it may be a chance that you may miss one round, and you will check the second round. So make sure you watch this video thoroughly for the first time before you start doing it, and then start doing it, so that you know what exactly are we doing. Okay, so chain 3, which will be our first double crochet, and chain 1 for V stitch. V stitch is nothing but double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet, right? So we'll be doing chain 4 and yarn over, do a double crochet in the same stitch. So we have a V stitch in the first stitch. So since we have 2 stitches in here, we are going to skip the second stitch. Okay, so in the third stitch do a V stitch. Actually we'll be having 32 stitches like the last round only, but because of this chain 1 we'll be having 32 more chains, right? So which looks like we are actually increasing. Okay, so that there won't be any the doily will be flat, there won't be any compression or shrinking of the doily. You see here what we are doing, V stitch in all the odd stitches, skipping one stitch. So continue till the end, and I'll meet you at the end, and we'll start the fourth round. Okay. Okay, see here I have done the V stitch in all the odd stitches and skipped the even stitches. If you have done it correctly, you would see one stitch remaining in the end to for you to skip, and you can do the slip stitch into the third chain, not the fourth chain, because fourth chain is for the V stitch, right? So do the slip stitch into the third chain and complete this round. Okay, then the fourth round is exactly the same as of third round, but the only thing is we need to increase it. If you do the same round again, it will be like it will start making a cup shape, like a hat shape, right? So in order to increase, what we are going to do, after every V stitch we are going to do a chain 1. That's the only difference. See here, insert into the chain space and do a slip stitch, so that we will be doing the chain V stitch in the chain 1. Okay, so 1 2 3 4, and do one more one more double crochet in the same chain space. Now last round we didn't do any chains in between the V stitches, right? But this round we are going to do one chain and do the V stitch. So V stitch, chain 1, V stitch, chain 1. That is the pattern for this round. Last round it was just V stitch, right? So by this way we'll be having enough space between these stitches, and our round will be keep on increasing. Okay, so meet me at the end of this round. We'll start with the fifth round. All right, see I have finished the fourth round. Okay, and don't forget to do the last chain 1 and slip stitch into the third chain. If you forget the chain 1 or any stitches throughout, you would have feel that you are pulling the string too hard than it can reach, and you will see a little disturbance in the flat flat structure. Okay, so make sure you have all the V stitches and all the chain ones in between the V stitch. Okay, so this round what we are going to do is, so we did the chain one in between the V stitches, so we have to use the chain one, right? Otherwise there is no point in having the chain one, right? And also we have to increase the next round also. So what we are going to do in this round is insert into the chain one space, do a V stitch in the V stitch, chain one, do a double crochet in the chain one. You got it? At this point we will be having V stitch double crochet in between the chain one. If you don't do the chain one and just do the double crochet alone, there is no point, there is no increase here, right? We have a V stitch chain one in the previous round, and this round we are having V stitch double crochet, but how it will increase, right? So in order to increase, we will be having the chain one in between the V stitches and the double crochet. So V stitch double crochet, chain one, V stitch, chain one, double crochet in the chain one space, and again chain one, V stitch in the V stitch. So if you see here, we are having V stitch, chain double crochet, V stitch double crochet, all separated by a chain one. Okay, so do this throughout this round. So you will be ending up with a double crochet here in the last chain space, and we'll be doing a chain one and a slip stitch. Okay, so if you see here, I have completed my 5th round, and in the last chain one space, don't forget to do a double crochet and chain one, then finally slip stitch into the third chain of 4 chains and complete this round. So this round, for the 4th 1 2 3 4 5 6th round, we have, see, previously we have chain one and we use the chain one with the double crochet. Now we have double crochet, so we have to use it with the V stitch. Okay, so slip stitch into the chain space, chain 4, do a V stitch, then again in the double crochet, in the middle double crochet, do a V stitch, then in the next V stitch, do a V stitch. If you see here, we are technically repeating the 3rd round, all V stitch round, right? So that's what we are doing here. So V stitch in the V stitch, V stitch in the double crochet, V stitch in the V stitch, and same thing we will be following till the end of this round. All right. Okay, so do this. I'll meet you at the end of this round. We'll see how to start the next round. All right, see, I've completed the 6th round, just a V stitch round, nothing else, and I am slip stitching into the chain 3 of the previous double crochet. Okay, so this is the pattern you will be following, the 3 rounds pattern you will be following as big as you want, which is the V stitch round, the V stitch and the chain 1 round, and the V stitch and the double crochet round. And again, if you see here, we are back to the V stitch round. So these 3 rounds we will be continuing as much as you want. If you see here, this is the V stitch round, this is the V-stitch and chain 1, this is the V-stitch and double crochet, V-stitch round, and again I have done the V-stitch round, V-stitch and chain 1 round, and V-stitch and double crochet round, and finally V-stitch. Okay, so this is the same pattern we will be following for as big as you want. Okay, so after this V-stitch round, if you want to continue, what will you do is insert chain 4, double crochet, that is a V-stitch, chain 1, and do the V-stitch in the next V-stitch, chain 1, and do the V-stitch in the next V-stitch. So after this, what you will do, you will be doing a V-stitch double crochet, V-stitch double crochet round, and again it comes to the double crochet round. But I want to stop it here because I don't want a bigger doily or anything. I want to have it as a pot holder size. So what I am doing is I am doing the last 2 rounds, the finishing rounds. This is a shell round. Okay, till now we have done the V-stitch round, the pattern of 3 rounds. One is the V-stitch and chain 1, V-stitch and double crochet, and again V-stitch. Okay, so if you want to continue, you will continue the same 3 rounds again. You have already done the V-stitch round, you will do V-stitch chain 1 and V-stitch double crochet. So if you have attained your required desired size and you want to finish it, this is how we will be finishing it. First we'll do the shell round and again the final shell round. Okay, so for the first shell round, what we'll do, chain 3, double crochet, chain 2 and 2 double crochet. See, it's like a corner stitch of a granny square. 2 2 2. Okay, now what we'll do, if we do the 2 2 2 one more time in the next V-stitch, it will be too much of wavy and frilly. So we will skip the next V-stitch and do the same 2 2 2 in the third V-stitch. Okay, see, I am doing this in the first V-stitch, skipping the second one and doing the third one. Remember 2 2 2. If you do one double crochet, we'll do 1 chain and one double crochet. If you do 2 double crochets, we have to do 2 chains. So skip this V-stitch and do the same in the next V-stitch. You don't have to, again I am saying, you don't have to stop the V-stitch pattern right here. You can continue the same, you can repeat the same. See, this one we did the 3rd round, so you can continue the same 4th round again and the 5th round again. Okay, so this is how, when you want to stop, this is how the last but one round. See, if I do 2 stitches, 2 shells in the same next to next, it will form a frilly fashion. We don't want that. We want a flat doily. So skip the next V-stitch and do the shell in the next V-stitch. Okay, so continue this. I'll meet you at the end of this round and we'll do the finishing round. All right, see, I've completed the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7th round. Okay, one change what I have done is, for this doily I have used only 2 chains in here because it's smaller. But for this one, if I use 2 chain, it forms a cup shape. So I don't want to do that, so I have done 3 chains instead of 2 chains in here. Okay, so that we'll get a flat pattern. Okay, so do adjust the number of chains on whatever depending on whatever the hook and yarn you are using. Okay, so this is the last round. We are going to do slip stitch one time and another time, and so that you will be reaching the chain space in here. Okay, so chain 3, that will be our first double crochet. 1 2 3 4 5 6. So including the chain 3, it will be 7 double crochets. Okay, so the same thing in each of the chain 3 spaces, 7 double crochets, so that it will form a perfect shell finishing like here. Okay, for this one I have done only 6 double crochets because I have used only 2 chains in the previous round, right? Because it's a smaller thread. For this one, since I have done 3 chains, I am doing 7 double crochets. If you are doing 7 double crochet, if you want a little more pointy finishing instead of a flower finishing, what you can do is, see, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, this is an optional one. If you like the pattern, you can do a little picot, or you can just do the same 7 double crochet. So what is the thing is, 1 2 3, and the 4th stitch will be our center stitch, right? So after the 4th stitch, do a chain 2, do a slip stitch into the same double crochet. So this is called a picot, right? It will be just giving a pointy edge, and then continue the 3 more double crochet. If you don't like it, leave it, but if you like a pointy edge, see, you can do this. So continue till the end. I will show you how it turned out. Or you can do it in the alternate way. You can do the plain shell and the picot shell, plain shell, picot shell in the alternate way. Okay, I'll meet you at the end of this round and show you how it turned out. Okay, see, this is how my doily turned out. I changed the color for only the border because it will give more elegant look, and this is the simplest doily you can ever do. You see, I have done the pattern twice in this, and but once in here. So but with the size of the yarn and the hook, you can see the difference in the size. Okay, so try this out. Send me your pictures, or post it in our Facebook group, or tag us in the Instagram and post your photos there also. More importantly, subscribe to the channel, like, share and comment in the video. Hit the bell icon so that you never miss any video. Thank you. Bye bye.